2:30 after the hour, Steve Masters, CEO of Sylacauga Parks and Rec, joins us this morning. And I saw the good news from the Sylacauga City Council meeting, and man, if everything else of that building is looking like the front of the building, it looks really, really good. Congratulations and good morning.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, Jimmy Dale. As you know, been a long process.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been talking about this thing for far, far too long. We've had the money. We're waiting on the design. It took 9 months to get the location approved. So I mean, it's really been a process. And Tuesday night when we got that 5-0 vote, I just leaned back in my seat and everybody's like, hey, you finally did it. I was like, we're just getting started. Now we got a 16, 17 month construction project ahead of us, but really, really excited. Love the design of the building and going to be something that's just going to benefit so many.
You've been CEO for 4 years.
Yes, sir.
You ever dream we'd progress like this?
I didn't. I was in athletics for 12 years. And, while I was in athletics, we talked about 2 or 3 sports complex. We talked about this, we talked about that. And, I can't do anything without funding and support. So, I can't sit here and take credit for hardly any of this because the city council is the one who brought in Chambliss and King originally. They're the ones who had them to make a master plan for us. They're the ones who agreed to go with the master plan and touch all of our parks. We're going to open our new playground at Beth Yates next Thursday morning at 9:30. So, without the city council and our board and all of our other employees, none of this stuff happens for sure.
I think we've got some pictures we want to throw up this morning and take a look at and kind of walk us through it as we take a look at some of the shots.
So this is the location. That seems to be the #1 question on Facebook. This is right.
Some of us still don't get it, do
Some
we?
of them still don't get it. This is on Broadway or Highway 21, just depends on how you want to call it. If you're familiar with Jack's and Chevron and Albie Steers across the street, the rest of that across the street is Noble Park. So we're going to be right there on that location. Plenty of space. So the building's going to fit beautifully in that space. It's going to be landscaped similar to a courtside park. Like there's not going to be a part of this property that's not landscaped, and something beautiful to welcome you in when you drive, south coming from Talladega. It's going to say, welcome to Sylacauga right there.
So we look further and you look at the inside of this great, great building.
So we were really, really intent on how we wanted this building designed. As you know, when you're running any department, your #1 cost is payroll. I mean, no matter what you do, no matter which position it is, payroll is your #1 expense. So we made sure that the building had really long sight lines. We didn't want to have to put somebody in every corner of this building trying to watch and, make sure everything was done. So the architects really listened to that design, and as you can see, they've kind of bedazzled it up a little bit as architects do. But as far as the general layout of the building, the materials and everything that they did, this is going to be a very strong building.
When I saw this, I said, wow.
So my #1 concern about that, being the person who will be over the maintenance of this, you see how many windows are in this building. So we're going to have us a really good window cleaner, but just a beautiful, beautiful design. We in Blackstock has done many, many projects around the state of Alabama. And the Stone Construction, who's now going to be our contractor for this, they built the Saban Center. They did the big end zone at Jordan Hare Field. They built Mountain Brook High School. So, between those two, between the design and the knowledge of this construction company, I hope it makes my next few months pretty easy.
Chris, if we can go back to that prior shot that we had up, the next one, actually the third one, it had the front of the building. For people like, that one right there, for people like me who don't get out very often, explain from Highway 21, looking out, is this what we're seeing right there?
That is the front of the building. Okay. If you're driving down 21, say if you're leaving here at the TV station and you are headed to the middle school up there, it's going to be on your left, and vice versa, it's going to be on the right. It's going to sit back off the property a little bit because we got like 118 parking spots for this place.
Okay.
So obviously the parking's going to be in the front of it. Everything's going to have a really nice flow once you enter the building. And once again, that parking lot around this building and even the back of the building is going to be beautifully landscaped. So something really, you know, we've had that spot of land over there that the city cuts about once a month, and we got a few trees and kudzu on it, and we're going to replace it with something like that.
Steve Masters, CEO of Sylacauga Parks Rec, joining. We got some more pictures we want to show you this morning, and I guess one thing people are wanting: when are we going to see something going on over there?
Right, right. So you know, fortunately, the money's been waiting on us, so we don't have to go out and get the money. The architect firm is currently working on the contract. You know, all the lawyers got to be involved for these kind of things. We have been in contact with Stone Construction, so we're really excited. They're excited about this project, so hopefully we get a contract signed in the next week or so and we put a shovel on the ground.
Well, not only is that going on, but we've got a lot of other events happening too.
Right. You know, everybody focuses on projects and constructions and like that, but you know, our job never stops. You know, we got about 160 kids registered for day camp right now. We got athletics going on. You know, registration for our fall sports is going on right now.
Fall sports.
Fall sports is, you know, everybody thinks baseball, and Sylacauga is a baseball town, and you and I have had that conversation. But in the fall, we got tackle football, flag football, volleyball, soccer, cheerleading, you know, all these things that we're getting ready for and amping up to kick off. We'll have tryouts around the middle of August for that, and we'll start games the 1st of September.
And that's not all. There's plenty more to talk about.
Always. You know, like we said, part of this master plan that we've been working on over these past few years is not just this one facility, but it's been to redo playgrounds and touch up our other parks as well. Coming up next Thursday at, I think, 9:30, we're going to cut a ribbon on Beth Yates
What's it
Park.
going to look like?
It's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. You know, Noble Park, we redid that playground. It's been a huge success. And so we decided that we need to do something at Beth Yates, but we wanted to offer something for the younger kids so they would, you know, feel more comfortable at that park. So Beth Yates is more of a toddler park. We've incorporated this ribbon cutting with our story time in the park. Miss Lauren does that a few times a year, and we bring in characters and they read a book to the kids and everything. So we're going to cut a ribbon at 9. We're going to have story time at 10. We're going to have pelican snowballs there. There'll be a bouncy house, and it's just going to be a fun day.
Wow. A lot of excitement, and future bodes brightly for the city of Sylacauga and Sylacauga Parks and Rec and Steve Masters. And I know that ribbon cutting is coming up. We got Batman coming to town too.
That's right. That's right. Lauren does an amazing job. She makes sure she reaches out to all of our princesses and superheroes and, you know, brings them into Sylacauga. And, you know, we know that there's a lot of parents that's got kids that they're looking for something for them to do fun during the summer. And we would love for you to be at day camp with us. But if you're one of those parents who stay at home with your kids, then she tries to present you some options too to get out and, you know, be with other kids.
Yeah, I noticed I stop out there at Noble Park sometimes to have breakfast before I come to the funeral home, in between TV and funeral home. And a lot of times later on in the day, I'll see all those kids that have been at the park and they're coming back to the rec. It's got to be well organized too.
Oh, it's amazing. We officially call her Pumpkin because I've known Shania for many, many years. She's running our day camp this year. Hard-working girl. She used to work in our concession stand when she was in high school. She worked her way through college. She just officially got a job at Indian Valley Elementary as an elementary teacher. So she is very organized. Of course, we have a lot of day camp workers who are recent graduates. Most of them are going into coaching or childhood education or something like that. And it's just a great program. Fortunately, I don't have a lot to do with this program. I get to walk around and play with the kids every once in a while. And But
Act like you know what you're doing,
act
man.
like I know what I'm doing, but they do a great job with our day camp program.
Let's talk about the pickleball courts and the basketball courts, and still one of the hottest things going on in Sylacauga on a hot July day.
It's amazing. You know, during the middle of the day right now, it's not as active as it was, but if you go out there between the hours of 6 and 10 o'clock at night when they cut the lights off, barely a parking spot to be to be open, and all the courts are full. And this is just a sign that we have active people in our community. We have people that are looking for opportunities to be active and to gather with other people. And this right here is just proof that this new rec center is going to be a hit, because people are looking for places to go and be with other people and get some exercise.
A question that I get from time to time is, once the new facility is up and going, what happens with the facility that you're doing everything in right now?
Well, and that's the cool thing. So with the new rec center, we're just offering new opportunities. We're still going to continue having gymnastics on Monday nights. We're going to have karate on Tuesdays and Thursday nights at J. Craig. We're going to have baton on Wednesdays. Our seniors are going to stay there. We're still going to rent for birthday parties. We're still going to host, other people in our space. So J. Craig will continue functioning as is. So everything at the new rec center will be something new that we're offering to our community.
There are always naysayers. No matter how good it looks, no matter how quality the product is that we're showcasing, what would you say to the people that maybe are still kind of saying, well, we don't have a whole lot to do still here in Sylacauga?
I question some of those people. When I was in athletics, it blew my mind that we were offering all these athletic programs, and they said, what about the non-athletes? I was like, we feed 90 seniors a day. We have art classes. We have seniors that we take on trips every Friday, and Lakeisha does an amazing job with that. We have day camp. We have story time in the park. We have karate. We have, we used to do guitar lessons and stuff. So be a part of the solution. Come to us, give us ideas, help us to run something new. We always are looking for new things to offer for Sylacauga. But at the end of the day, we are Sylacauga Parks and Recreation. That is our job, is parks and offer recreation. And, we sprinkle a lot of things in between that, but, at the end of the day, that should be our main focus.
People think of Beth Yates and Nova Park, but we got several other parks too.
We do, and something we're excited about. We've done Noble, we've done Beth Yates. Central's actually got a little facelift over there. We got 2 more playgrounds in other parks that we've put on the capital request this year for the budget for next. And South Highland is a park that's kind of, a little further up Norton and doesn't get all the traffic, but we've redone the pavilion over there. Chris Blackman's redone the restrooms, and we fully anticipate to get approval to add a new play structure out there. And then on the total opposite of town, do the exact same thing at Fairmont Park this year.
Is all the baseball done now, or is that still going on?
U-Trip is done. Babe Ruth was done, but they really didn't have a good option for us for All-Stars this year. So Caleb has decided that we're just going to play another round of games here for our kids, and we're going to have an end-of-the-year tournament for them. So, they get plenty of practice and stuff in. As you know, Babe Ruth is made up mostly of middle school and high school players, and we want them to get all the reps they can. So they're set to finish up next week, I believe.
And final thought this morning, with all of this, all the growth that's going on, there's a lot of people that have really stepped up and helped out a lot. You couldn't do this, and your staff couldn't do this by yourselves.
Right. It's been amazing. We have we operate under a board. Our Park and Rec board has been super supportive in this, and, active and being a part of the conversation. Once again, all props should go out to the city council. They're the ones who decided that we need to invest in our parks and recreation. They're the ones that control the money. And, all these things take money. And, just our staff. Chris has been at every design meeting that I've been to. And, when we're not there, Lauren and Miss Pam and Alan and Jesse, they have to pick up the slack. So it's definitely a group effort. You know, I'm the one who gets to sit up here and talk about it and everything, but I'm just driving the bus. The bus is full of people working every day, for sure.
All right, Steve, thanks a lot for coming by.
Thank you, sir.
Steve Masters, CEO of Sylacauga Parks Rec, our guest this morning. Braves highlights coming up. The Braves did get a win yesterday. I'll see you tomorrow morning on Daybreak. Till then, God bless you. God bless America. Stay safe, everyone.